Hi, Todd VanDenburg here with VanDenburg Capital Management and another Uncommon Sense update. So, the first half of 2020 is complete. It's been a roller coaster ride. The media has been reporting that the second quarter market results are the best since the 80s. Um, I don't really put too much weight in that because, in order to have that kind of a performance in the second quarter, we had to basically gut our economy in the stock market with the Dow going from 29,000 and change down to 18,500. It's now just under 26,000. So, we're making our way back. But, these kinds of interim numbers and records and that kind of stuff, they don't really make any sense when you're in these kinds of situations where, you got hit abnormally hard. So the recovery it's gonna generate all kinds of weird records that don't really mean much. But, it is good. We are making progress and we're happy for that. That's not really what I wanted to talk about today, though. What I want to talk about today is something that, needs to change in order for the economy to really start to recover as strongly as it can. Now, this is going to be complicated because the thing I'm going to mention is the thing that's, keeping a lot of households solvent right now as the government continues to shut things down again because of some surges in positive tests for COVID-19. But that thing is the federal government through the CARES Act is contributing an extra $600 a week for people that are on unemployment. And so if you think about it, in California, let's say your unemployment check is $400, the federal government adds $600 to that. So now you're making $1,000 a week, $4,000 a month, $48,000 a year. So that's fine, if you're staying home and your kids are home, but if the government opens up businesses but they don't open up the schools, there's a lot of talk about schools, not opening up 5 days a week and having kids come 2 or 3 days a week and then do distance learning, the rest of the week. How do you take people off unemployment when they can't leave their kids or don't want to leave their kids home alone on days that they're not going to be in school? So we have this complicated situation. But the reality is that this extra $600 a week that the federal government is kicking in is making it in a lot of cases so that people are actually making more money while they're on unemployment than they were making before. So as long as that's the case, there's really not a great incentive to try to push, to get, businesses back to be creative. Of course, social distancing and wearing masks and washing your hands and all that kind of stuff. But, individuals that are on unemployment, when they're getting all this extra money, there's really no incentive to get off that. Now, one thing the government could do to sort of slowly transition, from where we are now to where we are trying to get to, is to amend the CARES Act to say, look, we'll kick in up to $600 a week, but not to exceed what you were earning prior to everything being shut down. Because we don't really want, again, this perverse incentive to not get back to work, even when things start to open up again. Because again, as long as the government's going to keep paying this money, people have a choice, right? They're technically they're supposed to try to get a job while they're on unemployment. But my experience with people on unemployment is that they certify that they looked, but they, in a lot of cases, they also will say that they didn't find something that was suitable, especially when they know that they're going to be making more money on unemployment than they were making before. Now, I'm not judging anybody. I'm not criticizing anybody. I think I've actually commented to some people that it makes perfect sense, right? The government is giving you this money and you're on unemployment. You're making more money than you were before. Don't complain, smile, and take the money. Your job is no longer there. It's not immoral or illegal for the fact that the government wrote a perverse law. But it is what it is. But that needs to change because as long as we're going to be paying people that extra $600 a week, it's going to be very difficult to get a lot of people back into the workforce when they make more money on unemployment than they did before. So to sort of summarize here, we have a few competing things going on here. Businesses opening up and bringing people, employees back. But if they don't bring them back at a rate where they're going to actually make enough to pay them more than what they're going to earn on unemployment, who goes back to work? And even if they do go back to work, if the schools don't open up so that, kids are, in school 5 days a week, it's very difficult for parents to, go to work full time and get off unemployment if the kids aren't going to be in school every day. So these are the things that sort of need to change in order for us to really start to see, the number of people currently on unemployment accelerate downward. Right now, we're adding 1 million. Every time I turn my head, we're adding 1 million new people to the unemployment rolls. Yes, we are trending downward, but it's still a really bad trajectory with over 40 million people on unemployment. So that's the thing that I'm looking at pretty closely, because as soon as we can solve those problems, the economy is going to start to accelerate and accelerate rapidly. So I'm looking pretty closely at that. So that was your update. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give us a like, give us a share, and I'll be back again soon with another Uncommon Sense update. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to be the first to hear of more Uncommon Sense updates like these, please click the subscribe button below. We'd really appreciate it. Thanks again.